What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to the channel. I hope you all had a great summer, but I definitely had a great summer, but my favorite time of the year is here, fall, and with that there's just a lot of good fall riding to be had. But we're not here to talk about the weather. We're actually here to talk about this little guy, the RBWSkull. What is it? I've seen these guys around Instagram quite a bit, and so I did some research and became interested ever since I test drove a lot of motorcycles with riding modes. But essentially that's what this is. It's a 5-way riding mode for your Harley. I believe they offer riding modes for your Softail, for baggers, your road glide, street glide, also Dynas, and maybe Sportsters, but I'm not quite sure about that. Overall, I love the design of this. The quality looks to be great, and the installation, for the most part, it's relatively pretty simple, very straightforward. Most people shouldn't have any problems with it. I did, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, once I got this installed, I've been riding around with it for about 3 weeks now, just kind of testing it out, seeing what it's all about. So I just wanted to give you my honest opinion about this, because it is pretty expensive. It's about $700, I think. There might be some discount codes here and there for like $100, $150 off. I'm not sure. If I can find some, if I can work with the RBWSkull to get you guys a discount on this, I will do that, and I'll drop that in the description of this video. But yeah, it's a 5-way riding modes. This summer I've been able to test out a lot of Indians with riding modes, and for the most part, when I started riding, I didn't care for riding modes. Didn't care for it at all. The riding modes basically just controls how sensitive your throttle is. And so I know that I can control my throttle myself manually. Once I got to riding a couple of motorcycles with riding modes, I was like, okay, this is more than just a gimmick. It's actually quite useful. It does have value. We're actually going to get into that right now. We're going to go for a ride, and we'll talk a little bit more about the RBWSkull. Ooh, sounds great. I will do a video at some point on the 475 cam that I had installed, that I installed myself. So that'll be another video. Not like a demo video, installation video, but just a story. All right, so like I mentioned, the RBWSkull attaches to your handlebars. So in the middle position, you have your standard position, which is just your regular throttle. Nothing changed, nothing different. But when you turn this to the left, then you get into like rain, I think it's like city, and then rain mode. I think you all know what those modes do, which is kind of like delay the throttle so that you're not like slipping all over the place, or you're not breaking the rear wheel. I am less interested in that part, but I am more interested in the sport mode when you go turn it to the right, and then they have this final mode called anarchy mode. So that's what I was most interested in, because I kind of want to have fun. It looked like it was a lot of fun, and so I spent the last 2 to 3 weeks testing it out. Is there really a difference? And I will say up front, I have a tuner, like just a simple Vance & Hines FP3 tuner on this bike. All right, guys. So yesterday my GoPro just cut out on me, so here I am on day 2. But yeah, as I was saying, with my Vance & Hines tuner, I have a pretty aggressive throttle set. It's very sensitive. You get a lot more pull, like in maybe the first 20% of the throttle pull, even with aggressive throttle positioning, even with the aggressive throttle sensitivity on my Vance & Hines tuner. The RBWSkull still makes a big difference. We'll do some test pulls here in a little bit, just so you guys can get a sense of how it pulls, and as much as you can throughout a video. So I thought about, like, would this actually be worth it? Would I use it a lot? I'm usually a set it and forget it kind of guy. So in the last 2 to 3 weeks that I've been testing this out, I've actually come to change my mind a little bit. It's really nice to have something like this so available and just so conveniently placed right here, instead of having to go in obviously on the tuner and change the setting. I like the fact that the 5-way throttle sensitivity switch is just right here, so I can quickly change the settings that I want based on the riding that I'm going to do, or based on the road conditions. It's just really nice to have it right here. But with bikes that have riding modes available, you would have to like go into your controls, and sometimes you have to go into your menu and settings and all that stuff. But how nice is it to have it just right here with a dial that you can select? So let's say if I'm going on the highway and I want to change it up, boom, right there, you got it. Or if it starts raining, I can change it back real quick without having to really like mess with anything else. And that is just really nice. So I think that's the biggest positive experience that I've had with this RBWSkull. As I'm riding it, either in different conditions or different roads, I can set the throttle sensitivity or how aggressive I want it to be, just like in the blink of an eye. You'll see here in just a little bit how big of a difference it makes, because as soon as you even like touch the throttle on the sport mode, the thing just starts taking off. If I want to do hard pulls, that's really where it comes in handy. Instead of having to constantly just like tug on the throttle, that's what she said. It's a lot of fun. All right, so here we go. I have it on standard mode right now. I'm going to switch it over to sport mode. Woo. Just that instant pull, and the bike almost even sounds different too. The pull is just, oh man, I am ever so slightly twisting on the throttle and the bike just launches off. It's such a fun feeling, and I know that it's more mental than anything else, right? Because it's not like your horsepower changes or the torque numbers change on the bike, but it's just how aggressive it delivers that power for you. All right, we'll get on the highway too. So guys, all weekend the traffic has been like this, where people don't know where they're going, they're driving super slow. I think on the highway this will be really fun too, and I also don't know if I would really recommend this for beginners, because the throttle sensitivity, man, it can really throw you back. But here's where I think it'll be very helpful. Anarchy mode. Whoa. Yeah, anarchy mode is just on another level. Woo. Go back to standard. Very chill. Sport mode. So yeah, I know that this isn't really changing the numbers or anything, but I will have to say, it does make it really fun. Not only is this really convenient to have and very practical to use, all for about $700, but man, it makes this bike so much fun. It makes riding so much fun to have different riding modes. I actually think the RBWSkull would also be good for anybody who doesn't like want to do a whole lot of mods on their bike, but still wants to have, you know, upgrade kind of like the performance of the bike, if you know what I mean. Because it does make you feel like you almost have like a hot-rodded bike a little bit, just by changing the throttle sensitivity. But I would say my favorite is sport mode, because it's actually kind of useful, or it's actually kind of practical. But yeah, I'll throw up some more clips when I was testing the RBWSkull, and so you guys can kind of get a sense of what it can do. And I know that there's a sticker shock to this, but I mean, come on, like for me, you know, there definitely was a sticker shock in the beginning, but I'm coming around to it the more that I've tested this out, because this is just a ton of fun to have whenever I want it. You know, I can change it back to standard mode if I want to be a little bit more chilled back, or you know what I mean, or if I really want to be aggressive for, you know, 5-10 minutes of the ride and then go back. Like, I have that. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the video, and I hope you all enjoyed it and hope you found this video helpful. But yeah, I'll see you guys later in the next video. Peace.